Hi everyone, welcome to week 5. We have 2 more weeks left in this class. It is flying by. I apologize. I typically would have everything graded for you on Sunday for the previous week, but I am out of town. I was out of town actually this Sunday, so I'm not going to be able to get them back to you as quickly as I. Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 5. We're in our second to last week of our class. It's flying by. You may have noticed that I don't have all of your assignments back to you as quickly as I usually would. It's because I'm out of town on Sunday and I will get to everything on Monday. So there's nothing wrong. It's just going to take me an extra day to get everything graded. So, week 5, play. This is probably my favorite topic of the entire course. Play, why is it important? How do you design a learning environment to support play? What is appropriate? And I think that that's something we need to use to color all of our learning and I think all of our interactions with young children, whether you're an education major, a psychology major, a health major, major, knowing that children learn by playing and that play is very important to children's development. So this week you're going to read some materials about executive function and how that relates to play. Again, the importance of play. And then a really important reading I want you to do is the academics versus play, because I think it's a false dichotomy. It's not academics or play. It's learning those basics, academic or pre-academic skills through play that's developmentally appropriate. I've also left you links to the Massachusetts guidelines for preschool learning experiences, some ideas for your classroom, and also looking at the NAEYC, again, Connecticut, Massachusetts, we call it NIAC, everyone else calls it NACE, the National Association for the Education of Young Children Program Standards. I want you to look at Standard 9 about the physical environment and then try to integrate your thinking process about play and the environment and also what adult actions are needed in order to support children in their play. There are a few videos for you to watch about learning environments and how to create spaces in your classroom. So again, they are all about learning environments. And then there's also a link in the Explore tab linking you to NIAC's developmentally appropriate practice resources. And I think, if there's something that you want to spend a few dollars on, I don't think it's super expensive, but if you're going into early childhood education, anything birth through age 8, getting a copy of the NAYC developmentally appropriate practice book is probably a great tool for your toolbox. And if that's something that you're able to afford, I refer to it as my Bible. It's a really good book to have. And you can, I believe, get it on Amazon or you can get it directly on the NAYC website. And just to add to that with NAYC, because you're students, if any of you are interested in joining NIAC, there is, I believe, a very low membership rate if you join as a student. So that's something you may want to consider. And I don't work for NAYC. This is just something that I feel that they are really sort of the glue that holds us together in the early childhood community when we talk about quality and standards. And again, they deal with program standards. When I send you to a Massachusetts or Connecticut website with regard to standards, we're talking about child standards, what children should know and be able to do, versus NIAC or NACE. It's about what programs should be like. And even experienced early childhood educators sometimes get child and program standards conflated, but it's really important to understand the difference because they're both important. So this week, you are going to, for your discussion, you are going to talk about play. You're going to take what you've learned through your experience and through your research and really talk about the connection between play and teaching and also how learning standards tie into that. So I just mentioned what children should know and be able to do. So how do you integrate that idea of planning based on standards and play and integrate the two of them? And also about the importance of play for learning and development, do you think it's really being reflected in most pre-K to grade 3 classrooms right now? And which also makes me think to remind everyone that if you haven't scheduled your observation, you really, really need to get on that. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort and paperwork to fill out. So make sure that you have your observation, if you haven't done it already, that you're doing it, I would guess in the next week, week and a half, so you can write it up and turn it in week 6. So that's our discussion for this week. And then our assignment for this week is you are going to actually design a DAP, or developmentally appropriate classroom. So use the NAYC Standard 9, that physical environment, as your guide. So you have a link to that. And then you're going to describe the environment, including how it's arranged, what materials should be in it, how children should access materials. And I want you to be really intentional based on what you've learned this week and what you already know about early learning theory, and do some additional research on your own. I'm giving you absolute free range to do however you want to represent this. If you're really creative and you like working in 3 dimensions, do a diorama and send me pictures. Otherwise, you can do a poster, you can write a paper, you can do a drawing and just make sure it's annotated to describe what's in it. You can photograph an actual classroom or put together sort of a compendium of photographs of different classrooms and why you would want your DAP classroom to have these elements. Remember that regardless of what media or medium you use to do your classroom in, make sure that you also have your references in APA format to hand along with it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some creative work for this. Remember, you don't need to write a paper. You can do any kind of physical demonstration as long as you are able to tie it to the research you've done and are able to either annotate it, describe it, and photograph it so I can see it. So whatever you want to do to be able to demonstrate your learning, I really encourage you to be creative. If you have a question, you came up with an idea of how you could demonstrate your learning and it's sort of not on what I've just suggested, throw me an email. And I would love to know if you have any other ideas of ways that you could demonstrate this learning. So that's it for week 5. I've already reminded you about your observations. Remember that I will accept late work up to 1 week late. So if you were late with any week 4 assignments, you have till the end of week 5 to get them in. There will be a late penalty unless you have made arrangements with me because of some extenuating circumstances. And just a reminder that week 6, there are no late assignments allowed. So make sure you get all your assignments in next week, because there won't be any allowance for late. Even with a late penalty, there are just no late assignments in week 6. I'd like to end on a positive note and let you know how much I have enjoyed your discussions, that you really, for an asynchronous class, this class has really done a very nice job, I think, of virtually getting to know each other in the discussion boards and really being supportive of one another and sharing some outstanding resources. I've done a lot of learning following along in the discussion too. So have a great week 5. You know how to find me if you need me. And otherwise, I will see you in week 6. Take care. Have a good day.